Welcome back to another episode of Different Walks Serious Talks. You're back here with myself, Jessica, Keisha, Autumn, and Farah, and we're going to continue our last episode about polyamory, polygamy in general, ethical non-monogamy, and Autumn's favorite, which is polyandry.
She put me on
um,
Front Street, y'all.
so, we did go over quite a bit of things last time, but this time we're going to go a little bit in a different direction. We're going to talk about the positive aspects of polyamory and how it impacts relationships. We're also going to go into like some Reddit stories and some things that we found online that might kind of shed some light on that, since none of us are actually in polyamorous relationships. So we only have so much information that really relates to how we live our own lives day to day. So, does anybody want to start with anything in particular?
Farah, you lived that life once.
Oh yeah, I've been in a few relationships where we were able to step out. I mean, originally with my first relationship, she was able to date other people, and I guess at first it bothered me, but I was really young and I learned to accept it. And from there, I've had other relationships where we were able to see other people. It's not always everyone's preference, so you date people that do prefer monogamy, and that's okay too. When I have been in those kinds of relationships, you have to have both people into that type of relationship, in my experience, because if there's only one partner who's like, oh, go ahead and do it, and the other partner loves you more, that can create friction. So it's preferable that everybody loves each other, in my experience. But, maybe there's people out there who make it work with just one person being loved by everybody. Um, didn't work for me, but maybe it's because I was the person being loved, and that can create friction between you and the other person, and vice versa. When someone knows that, hey, you're the person getting all the attention all the time.
So,
So,
I have a question for Autumn then. Would you be okay with like two bisexual guys? Like guys who love each other? Like let's say that you have you immediately no.
I mean, I don't know. I look at this health aspects to everything. Okay, the health component to everything, even in a heterosexual relationship. There's health, aspects to it. No.
I can
Mm,
understand that because
Just
now you're
no.
introducing like an additional layer of health issues. So there's the heterosexual health issues, and then also the health issues that come with, you know, the bisexual
what
or
are the extra health issues that come with bisexuality and
no,
being
I'm
gay?
so
just saying no. I'm saying
I
in
would say from
general, and the reason
from a male
why.
standpoint, I would say that might introduce extra because I mean, they don't have a vagina, they do use anal, so you're
Yep.
probably going to
I mean,
introduce
women
different
get
things
anal too,
if
so
if
But
you don't
okay,
clean
if we
What
properly.
if
want to talk about
everybody's
it like
getting
that,
regularly tested and everybody's on
yeah,
Yeah,
PrEP and
that
everybody's
part.
doing the things to protect
this is
themselves like
true.
they're supposed
And a
to?
lot of women, heterosexual women, are catching diseases with their supposed heterosexual men, when in all actuality, they're bisexual and it's been going on. It looked like it's starting back up again. I remember 10 years ago, I used to read about this stuff all the time. There was a big old book about it. The download men that are in heterosexual relationships with heterosexual women, and they're sleeping with men and their wives or their partners, and they bring home diseases that the heterosexual women that they're partnered with do not know about. You see what I'm saying? And
doesn't that
yes, they're
happen with
not they're not
heterosexual
they're
relationships
not
too?
say it again?
Doesn't that happen with heterosexual relationships too, though? Anybody who cheats is
Yeah,
likely to catch
but the
something. So,
likelihood of catching stuff, you know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, heterosexual relationships.
so if even if a
A
man
man
is
and a woman. Okay, a
even if
man and a
he's not
woman.
on the down low, but he cheats, he's still likely to catch something if they're not having protection. So even if it's with a lot of pussy. he still could catch something. So that's
Yes,
what I'm
I do
just questioning.
agree. I do
Okay.
agree. Yes, I do agree. But down low, men that are in heterosexual relationships with women have the tendency to spread seems like the disease percentage in women increases versus traditional heterosexual relationships.
I
You
think
know,
that with all the statistics that people put out and all the information that they gather, it's limited. And that when
let's
people
go
make
to
those
CDC then. Let's go to the CDC website
even the
and see
CDC, do
what
you report everything that you get? Like,
said.
so just because you get sick doesn't mean you report it. It doesn't mean you even go to the doctor.
And
So they
that's
only
another
want
problem.
people to go to the doctor, right?
That's another problem
So
then.
but that happens with heterosexual and with straight people. I mean, with homosexual people. So it doesn't happen just on any. And I don't think that has to do with the sexuality per se. I think that if somebody's doing something dishonest, they're likely to catch something. It doesn't matter whether you're heterosexual or homosexual. It just matters that you're doing something dishonest. And
I
because
under
you're sick, don't
I
go to the.
understand that, but if okay, you know what? Let's go to Google and
So
let's
I
do
No,
the
think
statistic.
I'm just trying to
so.
get to the bottom of it. Like I'm curious because
So
I
let's
have heard
let's
that before,
let's
but
let's
it's just
look
always
at
confusing.
actual data, right? So
Yes,
I think we're talking about different types of things to be worried about. So looking at it looks like gay men have usually have higher rates of certain STIs, which is like gonorrhea, syphilis, anal HPV,
that can be transferred to us.
versus heterosexual. However, that doesn't mean that it's not necessarily possible. It just means that you have higher rates, so you have a
Yes,
different things to think about and worry about, or I
yes,
guess at a higher rate to worry about.
yes.
Not to
I kind
like,
of think
but
of,
that's not to stigmatize anybody, though.
yeah,
No,
I
I
don't
think
want
of
to
it
and
like
that's
want
what
to
I'm
go in the
not.
wrong direction with
I'm
I'm
that.
just
not doing
generally
that either.
confused
I'm
because
just, you know,
in my experience, since I do get to live in both communities, I've actually seen more heterosexual people get something from cheating than bisexual and gay people. Like, especially when I was immersed in the gay community, I heard less about STDs than I did when I started to immerse myself in monogamous, supposedly monogamous heterosexual relationships. And when their men cheated, that's when they catch stuff like HPV, gonorrhea, chlamydia. I heard more of that from heterosexual, and this is just my personal experience. So that's why it confused me because I get statistical data, but I also understand that statistical data is limited. And a lot of people don't report their things, and a lot of people do home remedies and all this other stuff. And some people just never get tested in general.
Well,
So
it
I
sounds
hear
like,
that
so
for the
from
gay
what you're
community.
saying, it actually sounds like you're um part of it
confirming
is confirming, because now
Autumn said.
you're putting both of those things together, right? So you're not you're talking about men and women in the same relationships. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about not just heterosexual versus bisexual or gay people. We're talking about like stacking, like you're like one woman who is heterosexual with men who are bisexual. So we're talking about like the higher
So
instance of
as long as
STIs
you get,
here
as long as they get
versus this.
tested, you would be okay with it. But if they're not tested, then you wouldn't be okay with it. That's what the answer to the question is. Is that it?
no, my
I think we're
preference wouldn't
yeah.
be. My
Yeah, she's saying
preference
her
wouldn't
preference
be.
wouldn't be, but that
Gotcha.
would be also be a concern.
But
So
the
that
health
could also be a concern,
ramifications
is a
would
higher
be,
instance of
yeah.
specific types of STIs and stuff.
Think what Farah's trying to say is if there were no health ramifications, if you were very confident, let's say 100% certain that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do to protect their partners, okay? Everybody's getting tested regularly, everybody's doing what they're supposed to. Would that change your preference at all?
It wouldn't for me. So I'm also like heavily monogamous. But I also
Okay.
I I don't think I could date a bisexual man, but
Have you ever
that's
imagined
my thought
all of your
process.
orifices, every single part of your being touched in a sexual manner at the same time? Like one person can't concentrate on all areas. Just think about when you close your eyes, your ears being caressed in a certain way, somebody's kissing up your back, somebody's got your breast covered. Like, one person can't do all of this. So I understand the monogamous part of it, and there are plenty of
I
benefits
get
to
where you're
kind of keep this
going.
in
I get where
tow.
you're going, and funny enough, I
Also,
had a conversation with
you
somebody,
know
but
what?
like,
I'm so sorry. Can we also talk about how Autumn definitely got where she was going? Did y'all see Autumn's face while Farrah was going into the details? Autumn, I don't know, girl. Maybe consider it. Maybe just think about it because you seemed a little intrigued. Just think about it,
I don't
girl.
think I could. That's probably just not for me. Like, you can use toys and stuff like that, sure, but
Toys
like,
don't
you can.
toys don't feel the same.
I
No
know it's
matter
not the
no matter
same.
what kind of materials they use, no matter what kind of vibrations they put in them. First of all, those toys, overusing toys can take away the sensations you have, and you just don't want to mess up those sensations in one thing. And second of all, nothing beats human touch. Just nothing. If you crave it from the moment you're
I
born
only
to the
want
moment
one
you die,
person.
human touch, it's just nothing can parallel it.
I feel
Just
like I
saying.
would be hurting somebody's feelings because I would naturally be more into one person. I'd be like, I don't. Can you not touch me right now? Him, like him, he can touch me. You can't touch me right now. Like, you, just relax.
You've got to get out of
Like,
your own head and live in the moment. Like, why are you even
that's
thinking
not
right now?
even.
How is it possible
I
that you're
guess.
getting this much pleasure and you're focusing on thoughts? You should be seeing colors. Like, what are you doing to yourself?
Because that stuff to me is
Seeing
associated
colors
with a
and
specific
seeing sounds.
smell, a specific person, a
Yes, all of
specific
the
Exactly.
way that
above.
somebody like
I want to
touches
see
me.
colors.
So, like, I don't know. Unless, like I said,
Cool.
I told you that the only way that I could be with two people at the same time would be if I could clone the same person. And literally, and I'm not talking about twins, I'm not talking about brothers, I'm not talking about like if we had two alt universes and they could both be here at exactly the same time,
Even
that
if
would
you
be it.
did clone them, I'm not sure they'll be the exact same person. Are you
I
cloning
would have to do it like right
consciousness and
after they were
completely?
cloned. Like, they would have to not have any other experiences to be other people.
They can only
It,
experience
they
Well, they wouldn't.
Jessica.
they
They
it
wouldn't
could it
come
has
into
to
the
be that
world as the same
person.
person per se.
And
Are you
then maybe
cloning
they
their
could be like a
consciousness?
hive mind, how they sync, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Hive
Oh
mind.
wow.
So they would have to sync so that they could always be the same person. Then I
But
could
the great
continue
thing
to,
about having
yeah,
somebody that
Okay.
thinks differently is
Okay.
that you get to
yeah,
experience different things.
yeah,
Like, one
sure.
person may think of something that another person couldn't think of, or they may look a different way or kiss a different way. Enjoy
Jessica
the, you
said
have
she's
to
not
learn
interested
to
in that at
enjoy the
I'm
all.
not.
experience.
She
I
said,
know
no,
it.
thank you.
It's crazy.
I would be like, for the person that I like more, I'd be like, hey, you should learn that so that he doesn't have to do that anymore.
Them out of a job.
So it's like great
Put him right
experiences
out of
with
a
this
job.
people, and this
But
is
we okay. So we get why Jessica says no, but why, Autumn, do you say no? We've gotten rid of the health implications and ramifications. Let's say it's a perfect world and there's no way anybody can catch anything. You still would not see yourself with two men and those two men also be into each other as well as you. You don't see this.
I don't find it attractive
How do you know you don't find it?
because I've looked
How
at
do you
gay
know?
porn.
Okay, that's something, but have you watched bi porn?
That too.
I want to ask Markeisha so many questions, but she's not allowed to answer.
I mean, look,
You
the
married, committed
situations,
woman.
you know, like I've written, very spicy stories. Most of my stories I've written is threesome, menage a trois, if you will. Brothers, sexy, hot, erotic sex workers. All attention is on the woman. So those are my stories. But there was a few people that I chatted with online and I saw their profile and I was like, I'm bi.
It's one thing to see it, but it is a different thing to be in the midst of it too, though, because sometimes you never really know unless you try, and you never try if you never know.
You,
So,
are you
Or it
opening
could
up
knock
a
you out of your
closet,
space.
Miss
You see
Keisha?
it
I'm sorry,
happening, you'd be
what?
like, oh, I'm
You
good.
opening up a closet over there?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm simply making an observation. I'm making a scientific, unbiased observation. That's all. That's all I'm doing for science. For
For
science. For
science
you.
purposes?
Yeah, for science purposes, for you. Yes. So think about it. Then come back and report to the group.
So you guys were gonna tell us about some good stories on Reddit and chat, whatever it
Chat
is.
the pros and cons of
Okay.
polyamorous relationships, and but let's we'll say what Reddit is talking about because yeah.
Okay. Okay, because a little bit of backstory, you guys. When we finished the last episode, some of us felt like maybe we didn't give enough
Details
credence
of
to the benefits of polyamory. When
relationships,
I
yeah.
say some of us, I mean Autumn, but whatever. We won't go into specifics. So that's why if you guys want to hit up Autumn, she's on TikTok, she's on
And it's huge online right now. Like, it is
Instagram.
huge online right now. I'm like in many Facebook groups, and at least 2 of them like push it heavily that like
Yeah.
polyamory is the
So
way to
there's got to be
go.
something
It's
good
not
about it.
natural to be with just one person and all sorts of like, hey, you haven't found somebody? That's probably because you're not open enough to polyamory and that sort of thing. So
It's got to
for
be
someone
something
like
good
me,
about it if people
obviously
like it.
not a good fit, but there are some people who are like, you know what, I might try the lifestyle. There are some people who are like, no, go die in a fire. That's stupid. But yeah, that's
It's
like,
not
yeah,
intense at all.
there's some really violent. It's either in or out, and they're like,
Yeah, but why do people have to die just because they don't agree? Can't we all just get along, people?
well, I
You
think
mean
because
die?
in some of
Wait a
these
minute, dang.
groups,
We
no,
went
because that's
what?
what I mentioned. So I think because in some of these groups they push it heavy. When I say push it heavy, like they make it so that it almost seems like you're an outsider if you don't do it. So like I'm
Yeah.
on at least one Facebook group that like they're like, how come you don't do polyamory? Why not? Well, even if you feel that way, you should just try it. Hey, you haven't tried it yet? We talked 2 weeks ago and you haven't even tried it yet. How about you go talk to this guy who might tell you their stories and they would like
That sound like
just
a cult. I'm sorry.
Person, how you
That
supposed
sound
to
like
find
a
but
two
cult.
in 2 weeks?
well, no, there's a bunch of already polyamorous people in the group, so they want you to like join people.
Just
Like, go
jump right
try
in.
it. Go try
Oh,
it.
They
just
Just
trying to
jump
jump
right
they
right
in.
trying
into
to
there.
they
Nah,
trying to
I'm good.
induct you into their cult. That sound like some cult.
They're actively recruiting,
Yes,
It's
that
some
part.
BS.
That part.
I don't like
but I don't blame them
I
because
don't
look
like
at
people
you.
like
You know what I'm
trying to
saying?
force
Oh
it
I'm trying to
Jesus.
onto
actively.
Oh Jesus.
I don't like people trying to force things onto others. And
That's
even
right.
when it's not just me, I'm like back off. If they don't want to do
Yeah.
it, they don't want to do it. Like,
Yes.
chill out.
Respect people's
So
wishes and
And
boundaries and the
respect
boundaries.
like.
people's boundaries.
Yes, that's a big
That's
one.
it.
That's a big one. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. If it don't fit, don't force it. That's that's
If
the
it don't
that's a
fit, you
good
must
rule.
acquit.
D- Also, yes, that 100%.
It's funny how we're talking about polyamory, and we're like, if it don't fit, don't force it. Even if so, yeah.
But there's some people that are very much into that. That is their
Yeah.
thing. If it don't fit, they're
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
a mm-mm.
bet.
No, I'm not doing baby arms. No, no, no,
Some
no.
people are, some people, that's all they want. That's what, yeah.
No, ma'am. No, we but
No, we don't yuck anybody's yum. We don't yuck anybody's yum. Y'all
I'm gonna
like
yuck
it.
somebody's yum, but I'm also not going to try it myself. Like, no,
Okay,
and
fair.
that'll be an immediate hard stop for me. Somebody take it out and then go doom. Nope. No, sir. Nah, we good. Nah, we're this is the end of the road for us.
Fair is
No.
thinking things. I want you to know, Fair is thinking
Fair is speaking
stuff.
volumes right
I
now.
don't know
Not
if
saying
she's
a
having
word.
flashbacks or something going on over there.
Show's just not that long. Like, I
This
can't.
is true. This is true.
Like, I'm
This
five.
is
I'm
true.
5'1" and a
We are
half.
all
My torso.
flexible.
I have a short torso.
We're
I have
flexible
had women
beings.
come into the ER saying that they
You
think
said we're
something got
flexible
broken.
beings. What? That I would be so embarrassed
And they're
to
usually
go.
fine, and they should. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want I don't want anybody to feel shame and not seek medical attention. If you think you need it, definitely go. But most of the times nothing really gets broken. It just feels like it.
Exactly.
And
It
maybe
just
next time don't go chasing waterfalls. Just stick to the riffs and you like that you used to, is all I'm saying. I don't know. Just chill out.
Yeah, exactly. No baby arms for me. That
Yeah.
there are people to whom those things are, fantastic. I
That's all
shan't.
they care about.
we
Yes.
all shape differently. We
We
all
can all
have
take
different,
different measurements. That's why God made so many different size torsos.
yeah, different
Yeah.
sized torsos, different abilities.
And there's we people all have different, just mental capacities as well. Some of them, they like a challenge and they won't stand down. Some people be like, "I know my
I'll stand down.
limits." I s
I'll stand down. I'll stand down
Get
quick.
somebody else to do it. Get somebody
Right?
else to do
No,
it.
no. I'd be like, no, oh no, no, oh no.
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
always
know.
a mountain
That's
climber
why
somewhere.
I agreed prior to having all the information to come to a conclusion that made sense for me.
Yes, informed consent. It's a big
Informed
deal.
consent, and I was not
Informed
informed.
consent. Okay. But
You
now
didn't
that I
touch the
know.
package?
But even if you touch it, sometimes they're a grower and a shower. You're like, oh, okay, this is all of it, and then they be like growing and growing and growing like a chia pet. Nope, nope. Like what?
Gotta watch out for those ones.
I thought it was already.
You gotta watch
Nah,
out.
nah.
Fun. I'm done. Back on topic.
Oh, oh, sorry.
Sorry, we're gonna go to the Reddit stories now.
Okay. Did everybody get the visuals out of their mind? Are we good? Are we?
Okay, all right.
Okay. So here's one Reddit story from the True Get It Off My Chest subreddit. My husband suggested polyamory a few years ago, and I love it. We're 5 years into our marriage with 3-year-old twin girls. After the girls were born, he pushed for a polygamous relationship, and at first I was against it. He kept pushing, and I finally said yes. At first, when he would be out with someone else, I would cry. I debated divorce for a while. After I cried and processed everything, I realized how over him I was. I also realized that leaving him would put me in an awful position, and the girls would have to live their whole lives moving houses every other week. Then I was deciding that what I would do is seek out the perks. He works full time, and I do part time teaching. He worked from home most of the days, but I convinced him slowly to go into the office. Wait a minute, I don't think I read all of this. Some of this is sounding new to me right now. I pushed him to go out on more dates, and I would do whatever I wanted with the twins. We go out on play dates. He almost always was gone at this point with multiple dates with multiple women. I get to pick what I want each and every night after the girls go to bed. I really have to clean up after him because he's gone all the time. Basically, I get all my bills paid for. I get a free place to live. If I want a night off, I just tell my husband I have a date and he takes care of the girls or takes them to his parents' place. I typically don't have a date. I just go shopping, eat at a place by myself, read a
That's
book at
great.
Starbucks. I'll even do girls' nights and get us hotels rooms so none of us has to Uber home. I've gone on a couple of dates, but honestly, I don't really care to date. Our relationship is basically over, but I enjoy the perks of it now. This lady has gained the system.
Right? She has figured it out. Like she has
She cracked the
found the key.
code.
Yeah,
She
she has
said, "I'm
cracked the
not even
code.
into polygamy, but it still works for me." You know what? I
She is
like it.
single in a relationship. She is single, getting all of her bills paid, getting her children taken care of, being able to do what she wants. You
Keeping
know
her
what?
family together.
Okay. like
That's a
like
benefit. The
I
people, they
mean, if
like
it
it.
works for her,
I hope she gets
I don't
back
think
to
I
her.
could
She's on
emotionally
social
be
media
there,
for that.
but say that one more time.
I said, I don't like that story. She's not getting sex. I hope she
And she's
finds somebody
also
she
not
is
that
that
interested
happy.
in it.
I
Some
Yeah, some
know.
people
people
aren't
aren't
that.
really
That's true.
that.
Is it she's not interested in it because she stopped having it for so long that she forgot how great it feels? Or is it that she was never interested in the first place?
We'll never know, honestly. But there are some people that are like that. They are never really that much interested in it. They just not.
Well,
They
in
just
that
not.
case, I'm happy for her. I don't
And
know.
maybe he
I'm
wasn't
at
that
this
great.
point.
It's entirely possible that he wasn't that great, and that's why he's got to go like hopscotch everywhere.
Well, I hope she's happy. As long as
It
she's happy,
sounds
I
like
guess that's all that matters.
She
she's
seems like
living the
she's
dream.
genuinely
Like
happy.
just to have
Like
us
that's
some
pretty
me time
awesome.
before we like to Starbucks and stuff. That sounds good. Although
It
every
sounds.
time I
Oh,
try and
that's
do
so
stuff like
nice.
that, I feel like some kind of pull from my daughter. She like has this hold on me, and I feel I can't believe I left her.
Hopefully
Something to
that
work
will
on.
pass because you're
I hope
allowed to
so.
have a life
Am I?
outside of your. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Am I?
I don't
Yes.
be feeling like it.
I
Even
don't like it.
if I go down the street to the store without, I'm like, I left her. Oh my god, how could I do that? But
It
then
might
she's just
maybe
so
change with time.
but that's good that she's at least the kids get to see their father all the time.
I mean,
Oh,
that's like an upside to polyamory, like, even when you're forced into it, so she was basically forced into it by her husband, and then
she
she
was it
was
didn't sound like
like,
she was
"You know what?
coerced.
I am going to really make this work for me. This is going to be a lifestyle and not the type of lifestyle he thinks it is."
Yeah,
So
I like it.
Are there any other
Are
stories?
there I'm going to share a little bit from what exactly is the appeal of a polyamorous relationship. So this person asks, how do you avoid jealousy when one person spends just a little too much time with the other? And why is it mainly women who are in said relationships more so than men? One person responded, at first, multiple possibilities for sex was good. After a while, you realize that just splitting rent is a real treasure. Okay. All right. Poly person. I've been poly since the 90s. Have never lived with more than one other person at a time. And that an original poster said, you're missing out. But that person that's been doing it since the 90s says, absolutely not. That is my worst nightmare. They're like, I like people, but I don't like people. I don't
yeah,
need in my
that makes
house.
sense.
You don't
That
need
is
to be
one
in my
thing
house.
that I hear is like the best thing about polyamory is like making sure that you like split stuff for multiple people, especially if like you do have like the sister wives type of situation that that everybody thinks about. When you have one male and then you have multiple women, then a lot of times if the male is like a provider type, he takes care of the bulk, and then all the women work, and like they end up going on lavish vacations and being able to invest and buy land and all sorts of, so you do have the one singular provider, but everybody puts into the pot. So like you get to do more lavish things, and you get to like build for the next generation, and nobody when it's in that direction, who the father of your children are. So there is one father and multiple children, among the ladies, but you know who the father is. The father is in the children's lives, and the women get to kind of have a community to support each other through the children coming up. So that's stuff that I've through, like I said, the groups that I've been in, that they say, yeah, these are the benefits. You get to really have this community of your own that you build up and that you put together yourself.
I get that. And I think that's actually more aligned with what like traditional polygamy was. Like a husband only could take a wife if he could afford them, right? Like if you weren't able to care for every single one of your wives equally, not, well, this one gets more and then I only got crumbs left for you. That was not acceptable. But if you could provide for all your wives, you could have all the wives you wanted. And then yes, it was a communal living. I think that makes more sense to me in my mind.
Yes, I agree.
But if it's like we're just all poor and polyamorous,
That's
and then
not
we're
even
just
poly.
kinda like, you know what I'm saying?
My
Like,
goodness.
I don't know if I really like that so much. Um,
It's not even really polyamory, to be honest with you. When you're poor, that's not
I
polyamory.
guess it is for some, like, some people just love, and they just wanna be with a whole bunch of people, and that's what their family unit looks like, and I'm not knocking it. It's just that to me, it makes more sense when there really is, like, this growth as opposed to everybody just kinda scraping by,
But
you
it's
know?
not, and we thinking about the monetary aspect of it, right? But there's so many other aspects of these relationships we're not digging into, like the emotional aspect.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some people love, and they wanna be with multiple people, and that's their family, that's their community, that's their support, and that's what they want. So you can be broke and be polyamorous because that's the emotional thing, that's the family thing that you get out of it. But I was just saying for me personally, I kinda think about the financial part where I would be like, I guess I just have a more traditional sense of what polygamy is versus polyamory. And I guess they're two different things. But in my mind, I'm just like, we are all in the same house and we're all struggling together. What's the point then?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
yeah,
I think
right.
I think that struggling it can be more than just financial. So like sometimes especially with my ADHD, I get behind on housework, or sometimes I'll feel alone because I won't have talked to a grown up in days because my roommate and my boyfriend both work crazy hours, and I'll have been stuck in the house. And the kind she does talk to me, but she's a child. At the end of the day, I can't speak to her about grown up things. It's more than just struggling with financial burdens, is struggling with, like you said, the emotional of feeling alone because you're alone all the time. So maybe they'd be able to spend some time with you, or even just that extra person asking, "Hey, how was your day?" Because sometimes I don't get that, because from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I don't get to see any adults because they, like I said, they work crazy hours, you know.
Yeah.
So, or maybe somebody picking up the slack of, "Hey, I thought I was going to do laundry today and I literally only got one in the washer. It never even made it to the dryer because somehow this fell down and this happened and those toys went that place. And my God, I got called out of the house and that took some time to get dressed and
Yeah.
get out of the house and come back,
Or what
get
if
her
you
for
get
a nap."
sick? What
Yeah,
if you get
so
sick? And now you have
all
2
that.
people to help dote on you and care for you and nurse you back to health.
Yeah.
That does sound appealing.
Like I said, I would only ever do it if my partner, whatever my partner wants is what I want. I'm one of those people where I go with the flow. I'm okay with being in the monogamous, but that does require both people working more. You know, if it's just two of us. That means if I'm 50%, you have to do 50%. If I'm 10%, please pick up that 90%. You know, if he's sick, then I'm gonna try and pick up that 99%, whatever it is. And it's not like we don't try, but we're at the end of the day, we're human. Sometimes time is a jumper. It just skips by sometimes. You look up and you're like, crap, how did 3 hours pass? And all I did was sit down to play blocks with my daughter for a second. Like, what just happened?
Blink and it's
So
gone.
yeah, and you know, the days just get away, and next thing you know, you might have something piled up, and it's nice to, instead of having to be like, "Oh, all day Saturday you get to play with her because I've got to catch up." So you don't even get to, you know, you don't get to play with them. So it'd just be nice for that extra person, that extra help once in a while. You know, maybe they're the teachers of the children, because I know I suck at teaching. Like seriously, I don't have that kind of patience. I don't have that kind of attention. I got to start
You
trying to
have a
teach her something,
two-year-old
and
who's
next thing
at a
I know,
five-year-old level, between 4 and 5-year-old level. I think
yeah,
you're
and
decent
You're
at
I get
doing a
teaching.
good
easier
job.
distracted than she does.
Like,
So when we go to play toys, I'll be all up in her toys, and she's already to the next thing, and I'm like, wait, wait, wait. But we did, I'm not the teacher. As much as I
I
would
think you're
love to
not
be a
giving yourself enough
homeschooler,
credit. You've
yeah, I
taught that
don't think you're
baby
giving
many a
yourself
things.
enough.
You
I
might not
try,
be
but
you might not be the conventional teacher or a traditional thought of what
not
people
at all.
come up with when they think of teaching, but you're definitely a teacher and that baby's definitely learning and growing and blossoming. So I don't think you should, count yourself out.
It's not that I'm counting myself
Watch your
out. It's
mouth.
just like
Watch your
somebody.
mouth when you talk about my friend. Don't do that. Don't watch your
Somebody out
mouth.
there has that patience and attention that I don't have. And you know, it could be another guy or another girl. I don't know. Maybe it's just an aunt or an uncle. I never know, because you know, community is
Dynamic.
a such a family, you know, and everybody ends up relying on each other, and it's so hard to find nowadays. And sometimes I think I have this huge community, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know. My community is just smaller than I think, you know, and it just depends on the situation. But I guess with, like you were saying, in
That's with
that particular
everything, though.
situation, that would be guaranteed community. Like everybody knows their role, just like every business has a structure. And with families comes structure. Not every family knows how to have structure. If I, as the mother in this particular family, don't know how to have that structure, and he's too busy at work, there's no way for us to find structure. But if somebody else came in and loved the both of us enough to find that structure for us, that might be beneficial. You know, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could be
It
beneficial.
could
Who
be.
knows?
But I do think it's very important for everybody to come in with their eyes open and being willing to communicate and everybody's on the same page. Because when you're talking about pooling resources and creating this community, if you have different people in the mix with a different idea and there's, you guys are just missing, I imagine the amount of chaos that can ensue because even in monogamous relationships, miscommunication leads to all kinds of chaos. So if you add different people with different perspectives and different ideas of what community looks like, and then you have babies in the mix, it just sounds like all hell's going to
So
break loose.
I can't remember what book I was reading, but it actually says that you should treat your family just like a business. So a business creates structure and they have rules for everyone. And a lot of times families don't just, and I'm just as guilty. We don't do this in my household, but I wish we would. So you create an actual structural plan for your family that says this person has this role and this is what you're supposed to do. And you have the reward system in place, the disciplinary actions, and you have all this set in a book so that way you don't argue as much. Now, again, I'm just as guilty as everybody else. I don't do this, but a lot of successful families do go ahead and use this model where they're like, hey, I'm the provider. You're there for emotional support. You're supposed to cook. Maybe they hire a chef, but they have everything structured out, including their finances. So everything is input and output, and it does work for them. Now, I've never used it. It's just something I read, but it sounded interesting where some successful families that have estates and trusts and all that kind of stuff treat their families like a business. If you treat your family like a business and you're very strict on, hey, that person has to borrow money, but in my bylaws, it says you can't borrow money without this particular contract. If they're actually using those and the family's held accountable, it's harder to have the emotional outburst.
I get that,
So
like, maybe for certain situations, and especially for a polyamorous situation where you have multiple people inputting into the same pot and trying to possibly do the same roles, because that's one thing that even if I wasn't completely, like, a monogamous person, that's one thing that I don't think that I could deal with is, like, "No, I want the kitchen to be, in blue and white." And I'm like, "No, I want the kitchen in red and black." And be like, "We flip a coin." I'm like, "No, this is my kitchen. I do my kitchen how I
why
want."
not two kitchens?
Like, "No, ma'am, we ain't flipping no dang coin. It's my kitchen." And, like, so there are certain things, like, I'm not, like, really crazy about certain things, but I love the kitchen. The kitchen is my domain, so I wanna be able to do the kitchen how I want. You go do the bathroom. Go make the bathroom, I don't know, whatever, blue and white, or you can make it orange and purple for all I care. Go do the bathroom. But the kitchen is mine, and Imma do it how I want. So
So
I
you
I
could
feel
have a
like
house
that's
like
one
up
thing.
north. So you could have a house like up north where they have the multiple levels where every level has a kitchen
I
and a
hear
bath.
you, but what if you don't? What if you only have one? Because it's
No,
mine.
no, 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 no.
'Cause
Women
I
love
hear you.
diversity.
No,
Everybody
I
gets
I hear
equal.
you. I hear you. What I'm saying is that certain things, I feel like when there's too many cooks in the kitchen, you get to the point where nothing tastes good, and then people
Yeah,
check
imagine
out.
food not tasting good. That's crazy talk.
You've
Exactly.
offended her. Now you've offended her. She don't play that.
Like
But
like
I
think
think
about think
that's
about you being like 80% through your cooking, and then somebody just come and drop some in your pot. You're gonna be like, "What you drop in there?"
happened to me once one Thanksgiving, and I never forgave that person. I was so
See?
mad. I was like, "Get
See?
out. You're a saboteur."
See?
I was so mad. It was a
And then
total
and then
accident.
what
It
if
was
what
a
if they do it
total
all the time
accident,
because
but it
because
didn't
of
matter.
your other people are in the middle of your relationship. So they're like, "It's our relationship, so I get to input when I want to."
Yeah, but
And so
Well,
they
it's
come
okay.
into your
That
kitchen
is what
dropping.
a
that doesn't mean
polyamorous
having in a
relationship
monogamous
is. It is
relationship
a
like that.
shared
I don't
That
believe
could,
situation.
it could, but you only got one person to take out in their sleep. So,
what do you
like,
mean? I'm not even allowed in the kitchen when he's cooking. And we're in a
exactly.
monogamous relationship. If I went in
Exactly.
the kitchen while he's cooking and dropped something in his pot, you might not see me for days.
Yes.
You're on punishment.
Correct. However, when people think that they're the head of something, so that's what I'm saying. So when you have two people who think that they have the same role, like because you're when you're both wives, right? You're both wives. You are both supposedly at the same level. They have the same responsibilities and the same opportunities that you have. They're allowed to do whatever they want. They're
Or
allowed to
you
do
could just go
exactly what
ahead
you're
and
allowed to
everybody
do.
agrees on what to do. Maybe
Probably.
she doesn't even like cooking. Maybe she loves the laundry and she takes that time to do
But
laundry
what if
while
she
he's
does like
cooking.
cooking?
Well,
Okay,
then I'm
look,
gonna
look,
want you
y'all.
washing the cooking that day.
These are the
I like other
pros.
people to
These
Wait,
are the
hold on.
pros
Before
of
you do the pros, Autumn, I would like to hear from the people watching. If y'all could drop a comment, how did you figure out the roles and responsibilities in your relationships? Okay. Did it
Whether it's
happen
monogamous
naturally?
or polygamous.
Yes. And I would love to see the differences, if there's any. Does it happen naturally? Do you guys discuss it and you're very intentional about who does what and when? Because I just want to know, what's that like?
Or are you like us and, well, I won't say us in general, but in my relationship, we've been winging it for the last 15 years.
I know that's right.
I'm
Swinging
intentional.
it. Yeah.
I'm pretty
Okay.
intentional.
She's intentional. You're intentional because you're also territorial. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Not necessarily territorial. I like to know what like I'm kind of a people pleaser. So I like to know Like, what is it that you like to do and what you don't like to do? And I
Didn't you
like to
just
pick
say
up
that's your
slack.
kitchen and that's your man and that's your relationship?
So for kitchen,
It's
yes, but
territorial.
most everything
That's
else,
there.
it's just me picking up slack. But the kitchen, yes,
Okay.
that is my
Okay.
area. I need
Okay.
things to be where they need to be when I'm
Territorial.
ready to do what I need to do.
That's
And
So
also
territorial.
kitchen,
that's your
yes.
man
Everywhere else is like
and that's
Territorial.
your relationship
I am
because
territorial
it's
about
your
my man
house.
too. I'm not gonna. You know what? You right. You
T-
right. I
Thank you.
apologize. You were
Thank
right
you.
in the
Thank
first
you.
place. Let
Thank
me just
you.
walk back my statement. You
Yeah.
right. It's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
man, my kitchen. You can see yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
That's
Autumn.
my kitchen. That's my man. That's the door.
I
You
don't
can get
share
out.
well. You can have an orange or an apple. You can't have my man. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we finally came to a consensus. That's
Yes.
good.
Came to yeah. Go ahead,
Now,
Autumn.
Autumn, what were you going to say? You're going to share with us the benefits per chat GPT.
I'm going to, yeah, based on the pros and cons. Okay. Multiple sources of emotional support, more honest and transparent communication, reduce
Allegedly.
pressure on one person, personal growth and emotional maturity, expanded community and support system, sexual freedom without secrecy, variety in connection styles, shared responsibilities and labor, potential financial stability, freedom to redefine love, stronger self identity, ethical exploration, and increased emotional intelligence. Now, a lot of it has to deal with internal emotional stuff. Are you capable emotionally to deal with this stuff? Now, here's the cons of polyamorous relationships. Jealousy still happens and is real. Emotional labor increases. Time management can be exhausting. More people equal more emotions. Social stigma and judgment. Risk of unequal effort or benefits. Lack of legal protection, which would be a biggie for me. Potential for confusion or miscommunication. Not everyone practices ethical polyamory. Harder to build long term stability. Emotional burnout is possible. You may end up getting neglected. Possibility of hierarchical issues. Breakups are more complicated. Okay. So
Yes.
that sounds like a lot of you got to be one with yourself first before you try to
Yes.
do any
Okay.
of this kind of stuff.
It's more than just being one with yourself. You really have to, you really, really have to want it. You can't just be like hanging out in that space just because somebody else thinks it's cool. You have to
Yeah.
really
And the
want it for
people that
yourself.
you're bringing in also have to want it. Like everybody has to have that. We're committed, we're invested, we're intentional. Because it seems
We're
like,
committed to the group. I'm
to
not
the
committed to
group.
this one person, then you're committed to them. Like we're
But
committed to
I had asked
everybody.
ChatGPT about fake polyamory relationships because a lot of men like to hide under that label polyamory.
Mm,
Right? What it looks like. These men are not polyamorous. They are avoidant. They are greedy. They are emotionally immature. And they use the label to avoid commitment, responsibility, and accountability. So he becomes poly only when it benefits him. He avoids deep conversations. There is zero structure. He uses polyamory as a shield for poor behavior, disappears, ghosts, or changes the plans often if it don't benefit him. He has no established history with polyamory. He doesn't introduce you to his other partners. Only his needs are prioritized, and he is emotionally unavailable.
all red
And
flag.
we gotta and we want to put that in perspective. It can be a man or a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Men and women can do these things
But
equally. We as women have experienced it from men, right? And I'm sure there are men out there who have experienced it from women. We want to put that out there that it is not gender specific, but we are women, so
that
we're speaking from
experiences
our
this, yeah.
experiences. So our
Yes.
experiences, and of course,
But regardless
that's
of
the
the
question she
gender,
asked.
if this is something you're noticing, red flag, run away. This ain't it. This is not it.
That's not a true
Okay.
polyam, and a lot of
No,
people, you know,
no. But while you were reading Autumn, something occurred to me. And I just want us to put our hypothetical thinking caps on, okay? What if you were in a polyamorous relationship, right? And the one person steps out on the polyamorous relationship
That's
unethically.
Yeah, I was thinking that when she was talking about that.
Yes, right? But then, because there's differences in perspectives and hierarchical things, what if one person within the group says we should forgive the person, and then you're sitting there like, no, what do
We
you
should
do?
like
What happens?
how does
Does
that
the
get
whole
worked out?
how does that
Because then
get
you're the
worked
bad
out?
guy, right? You're the bad guy who's stopping us from moving forward, right? Yeah.
Jimmy cheated,
Yeah,
and
you're
we
like, "Yeah,
said he's not
but
allowed
he's
to
got
step
both of
out
us, and he cheated, with, Cindy
on
down the street
us.
because she be outside doing her lawn, in
But
them short shorts, and she looks
but
cute.
Susie
I
said
thought
it's
she was cute
okay,
too,
and
but
we
I
should
ain't gonna
move
see it."
on.
So, like,
What do you
But
even
the
do?
punishment.
What does that look like?
That's where
what
boundaries
exactly,
come
is there,
in.
like, a punishment structure? Is
There has
there,
to be
like, what
boundaries.
Have a
There
punishment
have to have
structure.
boundaries within that relationship.
Farrah
Everyone just
Farrah's all on
punishment.
board. She's like Farrah's on board. She's like, "Punishment structure. I get Cindy too." Like,
Yes, let's go ahead and put that in the bylaws,
Look her
baby.
lips.
I get
she
to go ahead
did.
and
She
touch
was
her.
like she
Yes.
was like, "Yes, yes, we got a structure for this. Cindy got to
Hey,
come
you
and
bought
and
this
and
on
get got
yourself.
by everybody."
That's when you get to be the dom. Maybe
I
you're
know it.
normally the
I was like,
submissive
it
and
sounds like
somebody
she's
do
gonna have her
something
own little
wrong.
red room. And there's gonna
Yeah,
be whips
it
and
is.
chains and stuff.
Yeah,
And
that
then
looks like
she
All
where
can
it's
do
because
going.
this
she had
now.
to sit there and be submissive and get whooped, and then he messed up. Oh, baby, let's take it out on him.
Okay. I mean,
He might start doing it on purpose then. He might just start acting out if
everybody's
he
got their
like
own,
it.
right? He might be like Cindy. We ain't even gonna sleep together, but you might have to say you did, because
Or
I'm
I
you
right where
could,
I wanna be.
it could
I
be
love you.
worse. You could end up not doing anything.
You know what?
For the
The
next
reason
person
why
gets normal, we get so.
the reason why I looked at it from a men's point of view perspective, because there's a lot of men that like the concept of polyamory, right? They're the ones that suggesting it to their partner, really, girlfriends, wives, right? Okay,
mean, there
and they,
there are
and they'll
women
do it.
too.
But
There are
wait,
women.
wait.
There are women too. I just want to, I don't want, because since there are four of
Based
us.
on the stuff,
Yeah.
realistically, I understand where you're coming from, Jess. But realistically, it's not going to be a whole lot of women. The stuff, the content, whatever I've been reading, looking at, is more so men doing suggestion of the polyamorous relationships more so than the women. The women, most women are seem to be content in a relationship. Okay, that's just
I,
the
I'm
reality
not
of things.
seeing that. So I'm seeing online where there's a lot of women. There's a couple of women who, like I was reading a story the other day about a woman who was regretful about suggesting a polyamorous relationship to her husband, because her husband went out and found another wife.
And the same thing happened to men.
And, like,
But the difference
yeah,
is when women do it, okay, when the man suggests it and he goes out and do what he wants to do, and the wife, she don't like it, but if she does it, the husband has a tendency to get jealous because he
yes.
don't want her to
I
do
mean, both of them
what
both
he's
of them
doing.
tend, it gets jealous on both sides, but it's because people don't really think about, like,
No,
the
they don't.
ramifications, and they think
Yes.
about the positive
Yes.
aspects, and they don't think about the ramifications.
No.
Who is it? I think Kevin Hart or somebody has a comedy skit about, one of his friends suggesting polyamory, and then the dude had a bigger package, and the wife was very happy with what she received. So the gifts
Hmm.
that
Why?
she received were bountiful, and the
The
husband was like,
husband
"What?
was like,
She didn't sound like that with me." I mean,
that's
you
what you want?
gotta put it in
This was
perspective.
Kevin
If you
Hart's
want to do it,
friend, or was this Kevin Hart?
I want to say it was no, I think it was Kevin Hart's friend.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
say I
Sure.
can't 100% remember, but I did also pull up another
But even
another
if he
Reddit
told that
thread.
story, I'm just a little curious if that was somebody else's story or if he just
I can't remember. But I did pull up
yeah.
another Reddit thread that possibly can shed a little bit of light. People who were polyamorous and are now monogamous. What made you change your mind?
Hmm,
And so going in the other direction. So
interesting.
a couple of the replies. The first reply on the thread, Zany Laney Face was replying. And for me, it was the fact that polyamory was sold as this utopia of unlimited love where everyone communicates and sets healthy boundaries and cares about each other's feelings coupled with the realization that this is almost never the reality in those types of relationships.
Oh,
Being deprioritized, having other partners chosen over me, and basically being given table scraps of love while being gaslit over my discontentment and having it waved off as monogamous conditioning and feeling alone in my own relationships made me realize I deserve better and that I'm worth being committed to for realsies. That is the
And
first one
that
on the thread.
is the truth. Yes.
Um, and then let's see. I'm looking for another short-ish one. So Captain Election 956 said, "My partner and I were both coerced into polyamory by our abusive ex-spouses, so that's how we met. We were both in multiple relationships at the time, so when we finally escaped our abusive marriages, it made sense, we thought, to continue that way. But as our relationship deepened, it became clear it was our only real relationship. We couldn't deepen our other relationships without taking time away from ours, and our other partners didn't have more to give us anyways. Then we got into therapy, and as we healed and processed our trauma, it became pretty clear to us that everyone we knew in the lifestyles, and yes, it was a lifestyle, not an identity, fight me, was just using polyamory to avoid their trauma. At the end of the day, we were just sick people taking advantage of other sick people. So we went through a couple of really shitty weeks where we broke up with all our other partners. We genuinely cared for them, so that part was rough. We've been living happily together ever since." So that's a couple of the, the reasons why people went from polyamory back to monogamy. And I'm sure there's people who like went from monogamy to polyamory and they're like, my life changed and I love it. It's fantastic over here. There are people who genuinely like a lot of attention, and that's okay. I don't think all attention seeking is bad. I think attention seeking for specific reasons can be bad. But if you just enjoy a lot of attention and you enjoy it in a healthy manner, it is healthy. And if you don't get jealous easily, you enjoy attention a lot from a lot of different places, and you genuinely don't believe that monogamy is for you,
But figure that stuff out before you get into a monogamous relationship.
correct. And here's the thing, and you guys know, same thing I harp on for every single topic that we talk about. Communication is key. If at some point you change your mind to say, hey, I know I said I was going to be monogamous, but I don't think that I can do this. I don't think that I can like keep the commitment that I made. Communicate that to your partner and
But they're not
communicate
going
it
to do it. A
honestly.
lot of people don't do it because they're
That
greedy.
and that's the thing. It's stigmatized to the point where they're like, "Oh, you were just a liar from the beginning." People do change their mind. People have realizations, and that's okay before you go out and cheat. So I think that's the sticking point. If you're like, "Oh yeah, I slept with Cindy the other day and now I realize that I can't be monogamous." You're making an excuse for not holding the line and not living up to the expectations that you set yourself, right? You can't change your mind after the fact to cover up the fact that you did something wrong.
and
That's
then
not how
expect
that
everybody
works.
to just understand. But I
Exactly.
think that kind of goes back to what Autumn was saying about those that are in fake polyamorous relationships, or rather, they have fake intentions behind their polyamory, where they just don't want to be held accountable. They don't really want to be responsible or committed, but they're going to put some little fancy schmancy words on it so
Yeah.
that
I'm
they don't come out as
polyamorous.
the villain. No, you're a cheating, you're a lying, cheating cheater. Like, that's what you are. Just
Yeah.
say that
And want to use polyamory as a cover
as a
up.
cover, basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or somebody
But
who gets in
yeah.
a monogamous relationship and then they cheat and they're like, "You knew I liked polyamory." Like, what?
Do you like breathing? Because keep playing with me. See what happens.
Yeah. Like, I've been in a relationship where the other person in the relationship specifically told me, "Hey, I don't think I can continue to be monogamous." I was 18, 19, and they were like, "Honestly, I haven't experienced enough and I love you, but I don't think I can continue to be monogamous." They had already told me that they were attracted to somebody, and I was like, "You know what? It's normal. It's no, normal and natural to be attracted to people as long as you don't act on it." And then later on they were like, "You know, I don't think we can continue with this relationship
And that
because
was
I
nice of
feel
them
like
to
eventually it'd be a
relay that
problem."
information to you. That
Exactly.
was
So we
very
we broke
Okay,
up,
good.
emotional
Consider
maturity.
that
you know.
someone who's been in both types of relationship. It's not like I never get jealous because I do. It just depends on how we spoke about it. So the communication, just like you said, not always, but if someone tells me that they just want to be with just me and then they go out with someone else and they're like, "Oh, well, it's not like it was sexual." Yeah, but you took them out and you told me you just wanted me.
That's
So
manipulation.
people will say that that's a form of jealousy, and it could be. I could be feeling like, "Hey, you said it was only me." Versus if somebody tells me, "Hey, we don't have that type of relationship." All right.
No, they
Go ahead.
manipulate you. If they told you that and do something else, that's manipulation.
And
Period.
I will take exactly what you say at face value. So I've had relationships. I've had friends with benefits that they're the ones who decided to be the ones with friends with benefits. And once they put that in my mind, that's where it went. Like, we're never going to be more than friends, but thanks for the great sex. And when they started feeling differently and I didn't, I did feel bad that I wasn't feeling the same way, but you're the one who put it in my head. So you can't really be upset with me for saying this isn't going to go anywhere past this. Hey, I'm going to put it on you and send you home.
And
Cool.
that's
Be
more
my
in the realm of
Machiavelli.
ethical
Peace out.
non-monogamy. We are literally telling each other we are not going to be monogamous. We are not going to have a regular relationship, or whether you have one static partner and then you're like, we can go do whatever we want to do, or you're like, we're just friends with benefits. We're not doing anything serious. You're ethically telling that person we are not going to be monogamous to each other. Right? You're
And then later
communicating that
they're all
at
like,
the
oh,
outset.
but I just want to be with just you. It's a bit too late.
And some people are like that, and some people can accept it. Some people, slide from one relationship type to another. Some people do it, but some people like you, they're like, we have created a logical separation and we've partitioned this hard drive. You are on that side. So like, you live over
You
there.
put the
There's
boundaries up.
not a door between here and there. There is
Yeah,
a
you have
wall,
yeah.
and that's it. You can't get through that wall. You live over there. I
And it,
apologize that
I'm not
that's
gonna
what you
lie,
set
it
up,
was
but
good. It was good
that's what it
while it
is.
lasted. But just, since that idea was already in my head, when he was like, "But you're not gonna get none of this good no more," that's
Okay.
the end of this relationship.
That
Thanks
was
for the good. Learn from it. Oh, you was laying it down. But bruh, you're the one who said it wouldn't go any further. Like, but it was great.
so there are positives and negatives when it comes to polyamory. It really just comes down to what you choose for yourself. We have said it multiple times in this episode, but I do want to reiterate it. Don't let anybody force you into doing it or to not do it. If it is something that you want to do, don't let somebody force you into a monogamous relationship and then later on say, well, I told you that I couldn't. Now you're making a different commitment, right? So if this is something that you honestly cannot abide by, don't get into a relationship knowing that. And then if you honestly want to be in a monogamous relationship, don't let somebody force you into a polygamous relationship simply to be in their space. It
And
doesn't
it's
make
okay to
make
not
sense,
know.
and
Just say
it's
I
okay
don't
to
know
not
who I
know.
am right now.
Yeah,
Everybody goes through those
yeah,
phases. It's
yeah.
okay. You don't have
Yeah.
to know how you feel all the time.
Put
Oh
that
my
out there
goodness.
though.
Like
It's
just
okay
Communicate
don't
to
that
feel
try it
shit.
information.
and then
Communicate
and
that
then change your
information.
mind
Like, I don't
later.
know where I'm at.
It's communication.
I want to be polyamory. I don't know if I want to be in a monogamous relationship, And if you put that out there, like Jessica says, communication is key to a lot of stuff. You communicate this to the people that cross your path, there might be some flexibility. They'll be understanding. But if you go behind the scenes, you one way and you act another, or hold up, you doing the switcheroo, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
And there's an old time saying that people used to always use. If something leaves and it comes back, that's how you know it's really worth having. If
Come
you
again.
can sit there, if something's gone and comes back, that's how you know it's really worth having. Like if
I don't know.
you,
I don't know.
Be careful
I,
with
I
that, because you
don't know.
sometimes you let the
Yeah.
bird out the cage, it's
I'm
gone.
not saying to
I
wait
don't
around for
understand that
people.
concept. I'm still trying to
Yeah.
How to,
understand that. I don't
I don't
know.
know how to put it. Sometimes something has to be gone for you to truly appreciate it, and sometimes you may not be fully sure.
Really?
Sometimes.
Why does it have to go away? Why? I
Not
don't
always.
understand that
I'm not
concept.
saying always, but sometimes. Sometimes something has to
Sometimes
leave to
that
be
is
fully
that
appreciated.
is the
And
case.
that does happen with plenty of people. Sometimes some of the best relationships are have people who dated in high school, were too young to fully commit, and then found each other later in life. That's a good example of sometimes you're not sure, but you found what you needed. It may have been a long wait, but it was worth it. I don't know how to put it, I guess. The way I think is so,
No,
so different. It sounds good in
you
my
put it
head.
right. If sometimes, if you love it, let it go, and if it comes back, it's yours,
You know,
is I
Yeah.
think how
I've
it.
seen that saying when I was a little girl, when I was itty bitty, and they had that saying on a poster, and I read that so many times, and it's still in my head, and I still don't understand the concept of it. I really don't. I don't
I
understand
don't fully
because if
understand
it
it, but
was
you want
you,
to know something
you
funny?
would leave.
So my partner and I, we didn't exactly date before I left for Cali, but we did, have relations. We had some fun,
Okay.
and I left, and I got married. So we ended up separated. And now look, we have a beautiful daughter. It was worth the wait. I mean, we've been together now 15 years, so it's not like we've been apart for a long time now, but we were separated for 3 years and some
Were you
change.
a boyfriend and girlfriend at the time? I mean, prior
When I
to.
first left to Cali, no, we weren't even sure what we were. We were just starting to try and figure stuff out. Before then, we barely even communicated, talked to each other. We were barely friends. And it was just something that happened on a very off chance. So we had never even thought of each other like that. And then when we did start getting closer, I haven't left to California. Good
There's
example
some
of
people it works for, and there's
yeah,
some people who just aren't in the right place in their life. Like,
yeah.
sometimes you're just not in the place in your life where you can truly appreciate what somebody contributes to your life. So sometimes that is the case, that you really do have to let it go, and then you're like, now I can appreciate. I'm in a better headspace. I'm in a better space. In general in life, my priorities are more aligned with where you want to go as well. So it can happen, but I would caution for many people to use that because they're like, if I love it, let it go. So I'm gonna go play where I want to play, and then you could be here when I get back. Nah.
Keisha.
I'm not saying to
Like,
just up and do it. I'm not saying to just up and do it. I'm saying when it
Yeah.
does fall in your lap, it can be worth the wait. I'm not saying to go and practice it. Don't just start being like you're a season. You were never even part of this fall. Sometimes good things happen when you wait. Let the cards fall. Sometimes
when
you
you
gotta
wait
go with the flow.
that part. Okay.
All right. So we talked about polyamory and ethical non-monogamy. We talked about the good parts of polyamory and polyandry, and the not so great parts. We talked about some Reddit stories that were good and bad. Some reasons why you may want to get into polyamory, or some reasons why it just might not be you. And we kind of really wanted to drive home that point that you have to make sure that you're in the right headspace for it, and that it's a choice that is yours and yours alone. In the comments down below, give us your stories. Have you tried it? Polyamory, ethical non-monogamy? Have you been pressured to try it? If you've been pressured to try it, what happened? What was the outcome? Were you able to stand strong, or did you maybe dabble in it when you didn't want to, or did you pressure someone else? Um, Thank you for joining us on another episode of Different Walk Serious Talk. See you next time.